At 6:47 a.m., I stood staring at my destroyed fence and the BMW wrapped around it like crumpled paper. My HOA president, Patricia, was already screaming at the cops that the fence was illegally placed and that I should pay for her son's car repairs. Her son Brandon had been drinking, crashed straight into my property, and now she wanted me to cover his damage. I crunched through broken glass and antifreeze fumes in the cold winter air, watching this woman demand I pay for the mess her kid made on my own land. The tow truck winch screeched as they hauled Brandon's mangled BMW away, and Patricia kept yelling that it was all my fault. By the end of this story, they would tow a lot more than just his car. 6 months earlier, I thought I had finally found peace. I'm Derek Morrison, 52, a retired electrician after 28 years wiring Arizona construction sites. I bought my dream house in Maple Ridge Estates, a quiet suburb where people still wave hello. I'm a widower. Sarah lost her battle with cancer 2 years ago, and this house was my way of healing. I spent $8,000 on beautiful cedar fencing and raised garden beds, every post laser leveled, every Saturday morning filled with fresh-cut wood and steaming coffee while I built something beautiful again. Then Patricia Westmont decided I didn't belong. She's ruled the HOA for 6 years straight. 48 years old, drives a white Escalade, wears that fake country club smile that cuts like broken glass. Her husband, Craig, runs city planning, and her son, Brandon, 19, treats his daddy's BMW like his personal weapon. Patricia's specialty is weaponized bureaucracy. Friends get polite warnings. Threats get systematic destruction. 3 months before the crash, she showed up with a measuring tape. "Derek, I'm concerned about your fence placement." She claimed it was 2 inches over the property line, 2 inches on an $8,000 installation. I triple-checked everything. She hit me with $1,200 in violation fees and 30 days to remove it. I showed her my certified survey stamped by a licensed surveyor. She glanced at it like it was junk mail. Surveys aren't always accurate. The board will decide. The harassment started immediately. Weekly violation notices. Grass half an inch too long. Christmas lights 1 day late. Mailbox painted the wrong shade of black. The metallic slam of my mailbox stuffed with fines became my daily alarm. Other neighbors got hit too. Mrs. Stella fined for bird feeders. Janet Rodriguez for cultural decorations. Mike Brennan for visible Christmas lights. Meanwhile, Brandon's BMW sat on their lawn. Craig's Sunday leaf blower violated noise ordinances, and Patricia's decorative rocks crossed her own property line. December 15th, 2:30 a.m. An explosion sound jolted me awake. Outside in pajamas and boots, I found Brandon's BMW accordion folded around my fence. He sat there wobbling, phone to his ear, slurring, "Mom, help! I really screwed up." Patricia appeared faster than the cops, already dressed, camera ready, photographing my property instead of checking on her son. Officer Martinez arrived to Patricia's performance. She waved violation folders, crocodile tears, claiming my fence created dangerous blind spots. Antifreeze and lavender perfume mixed in the air as she pointed accusingly. "This fence has been illegally positioned for months. Derek should cover my son's repairs." Standing there watching her try to pin a drunk driving accident on my legal fence, I realized this wasn't random. This was Patricia eliminating a neighbor who wouldn't bow to her. The police report that night made my blood boil. Vehicle struck illegally positioned fence. 3 words that flipped reality upside down. 2 days later, Patricia's insurance demanded I pay $28,000 for BMW repairs. When I laughed and hung up, they sent a formal letter claiming liability for improperly placed structures. My insurance adjuster, Maria Santos, came out, measured everything. 45 minutes later, she snapped her folder shut. "Your fence is 4 feet inside your property line." The BMW was traveling at excessive speed. We're denying their claim entirely. I remembered from my construction days. Property owners in Arizona can only be held liable for accidents caused by structures that actually violate building codes. Spite fences don't qualify. Patricia's legal theory had more holes than Swiss cheese. But she wasn't done. She called an emergency HOA board meeting for December 20th. unsafe fence removal, and member liability assessment. Walking into that community center felt like entering a kangaroo court. She had a PowerPoint titled Neighborhood Safety Crisis, blown-up photos of every tiny imperfection on my property. Her expert witness was her brother-in-law, Randy, a gym teacher who testified my fence obstructed vehicular sight lines. During my 5-minute rebuttal, I stood calmly. "Patricia, your son was drunk. My fence didn't move." She cut me off. "Your time is up, Mr. Morrison. Vote 4-1 to fine me $2,500 and remove the fence in 30 days. Only Mrs. Stella supported me, sitting in the back avoiding Patricia's glare. Walking to my truck, Patricia's victory laugh echoed like a hyena. She thought she'd won. What she didn't know was that I had recorded everything on my phone. Reviewing the audio that night, I caught her fatal contradiction. In March, she had approved my fence design at the annual meeting. Tonight, she called it a clear and present danger. Frank Kowalski, retired Phoenix PD, knocked on my door at 10 p.m. He'd watched Patricia's operation for years. She pulled this on the Hendersons 3 years ago, forced them to tear down their deck over setback violations. They moved rather than fight. Over black coffee on my porch, he said, "Derek, Patricia needs fine revenue. Know what she spent on landscaping last spring? $12,000, all for violation fines." Frank's cop instincts cut to the motive. Brandon's DUI created massive liability, repairs, lawsuits, insurance hikes. She was desperate to shift blame. As he left, I realized her first error. She documented her corruption in official meeting minutes, creating a paper trail of contradictions. County property records revealed Patricia's dirty secret. Her own fence extended 18 inches over the property line, triple my violation. Same licensed surveyor, same legal weight. HOA Bylaws Section 4:7 was clear. Board members must recuse themselves from family-related votes. Patricia had presided over her son's case, making every decision legally void. Frank dropped a thick folder on my kitchen table. Brandon's rap sheet. 3 accidents, 2 DUIs, 1 sealed juvenile reckless endangerment. Patricia had used HOA power to cover her son's criminal escalation. Craig filed my fence complaint the day after the crash, with hearings set for January 3rd and him presiding. I drove downtown and filed an ethics complaint against Craig for conflict of interest, $25 in 30 minutes. Then I met attorney Sarah Martinez, who specializes in HOA abuse cases. She examined my evidence. "Derek, you've got the holy trinity: HOA harassment, government corruption, civil rights violations." She cross-referenced Brandon's accidents with Patricia's violation campaigns. Every time her son faced legal trouble, Patricia targeted neighbors for fines to pay legal fees. Mrs. Stella after Brandon's first DUI, the Hendersons after reckless driving, now me after the BMW crash. This was systematic extortion using HOA authority to fund family problems. Neighbors started finding their courage. Mrs. Stella brought 18 months of violation notices. Janet Rodriguez had filed a civil rights complaint that made Patricia back down. Mike Brennan shared his holiday light fines. 8 neighbors gathered in my garage, sharing stories. The pattern was clear. Patricia targeted single mothers, elderly, minorities, retirees, people she could intimidate individually. Frank calculated $31,000 in fines over 18 months, funding Patricia's landscaping, Brandon's legal fees, family lifestyle. Then came the bank records Frank obtained. $12,000 landscaping improvements around her house, consulting fees to family companies, all paid with HOA money. HOA insurance excluded coverage for board member conflicts. Every corrupt decision created personal liability. Mrs. Stella brought the smoking gun. Original 2018 development plans with Patricia's signature approving my exact fence. My insurance denied Brandon's claim due to DUI. Patricia was personally liable for $28,000. Their fraud unit investigated Brandon's pattern of accidents. The timeline matched perfectly. Every harassment campaign started right after Brandon's legal trouble. January brought Patricia's Scorched Earth campaign. Brandon's parties targeted my sleep with bass at 2 a.m. Violation notices multiplied. Garden hose coiled wrong. Mailbox scratched. Doormat 2 inches off center. Anonymous complaints flooded city offices about my electrical work. Inspectors came and cleared me every time, but it wasted my time and money. The breaking point, Brandon blocked my driveway, smirking, "Make me grandpa." Police said it was a civil matter. Frank helped install motion cameras and detailed harassment logs. Neighbors united. We hired Sarah Martinez for a class action lawsuit. 14 homeowners, $31,000 in combined fines. Evidence packets went to the state attorney general, county prosecutor, insurance fraud unit, civil rights commission. Patricia's pattern was prosecutor perfect. Craig tried to bribe me at the grocery store. Move the fence 2 feet, take $5,000, and Patricia would leave me alone. I recorded every word. Attempted bribery and obstruction. February brought Patricia's meltdown. Restraining order served. She sabotaged my fence at 3 a.m. Caught on camera. Anonymous complaints to every agency touching my life. Electrical Board, IRS, Social Security, Veterans Affairs. False CPS report claiming I was dangerous around children. Every attack generated more evidence. State investigators arrived. Patricia placed on administrative leave, Craig suspended. Brandon cracked under pressure and confessed. Patricia generated fines to pay his legal fees. Craig covered up family crimes. Brandon's testimony elevated it to federal RICO prosecution. March 15th community meeting. 47 residents packed the room. I projected security footage of the crash. 2018 plans with Patricia's signature approving the fence. Financial documents showing $63,000 diverted. Patricia screamed, "Conspiracy." The room erupted. Sheriff arrested Patricia and Craig on camera. Emergency vote. Patricia removed. All fines refunded. Mrs. Stella interim president. Patricia sentenced. 18 months federal prison for racketeering. $147,000 restitution. Craig lost his pension. Brandon lost his BMW and college fund. My fence rebuilt better than ever. Neighborhood transformed. Sarah Morrison Memorial Scholarship, community garden, new HOA laws inspired by our case. Patricia thought she was destroying a powerless retiree. Instead, she taught an entire community how to stand up to bullies. If you're fighting an HOA nightmare, you're not alone. Share your story below.